Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another edition of Sporting160en. Today will be episode number 5. I will be your new host today. It is I, Bruno, Brunosco23 on Twitter, and I'm joined here, of course, with my man from Canada, Danny. How are you doing, Danny?
I'm good, bro. Chilling. A victory this weekend, so I'm, very happy and ready to start another podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a little bit up north from me, not too far away, I got Steph. Steph, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. All the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm doing a podcast, and I'm very excited to be with you guys today.
Oh man, you're down south, and you're not up north. You're down south for today.
Yes, I
Just
am.
enjoying that warm weather, huh?
I know you got to escape the cold a little bit. Must be nice.
You don't even know what I'm doing, man. I'm doing some honor guard training, so it's a lot of marching, a lot of bugs biting me. So
Oh,
it's not
yeah,
very,
that
True.
sucks. You got to get that
Yeah.
bug spray.
Aquelas
no.
melgas, pá. Aquelas melgas.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Awesome, guys. Well, you know what? Let's dive right into it. And the first game that I want us to recap about is the Sporting-Plzen game. I'm going to go ahead and you guys will be the voice. So, Steph, I want to get your thoughts on the game. How do you think, what are your overall thoughts on the game, how we played, if there was a player that stood out to you and as well as a player that underperformed?
Well, you're not going to give us a lineup today.
Opa, pois é verdade.
I got it
That's
if you
fine.
want.
Go ahead, Danny. Yeah. I'll do it for the next one.
Sounds good. The lineup was Rui Patricio in net, Coentrão, Mathieu, André Pinto, and Rodrigo Bataglia right back. Then we had Petrovic and Brian Ruiz in midfield with Gelson Martins, Bruno Fernandes, Acunha, and Bas Dost up front.
There you go. So, Steph, the floor is yours.
Okay, so basically the game against Vitória-Plzen was very disappointing. With a two nothing nil from Lisbon, we managed to let them get back into the playoff, the second leg of the playoff, and that was very disappointing. I believe the first goal was minute 7, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a lack of attention from our left defender. Technically, he had 3 men on him, so whoever was on the left wing,
It was tough. Yeah, whoever was, I think it was like this. Exatamente.
Yeah, didn't compensate, and then you saw our left defender all by himself, and the captain of Vitória-Plzen scored the first goal, which was that's what they wanted. Score an early goal, so they could get back into the playoff and pull off a win, which actually they won the game anyway. And then they scored the second goal again. Another mistake from our defense. To me, it was a mistake because a team as a Sporting Club Portugal so experienced, allowing those shitty goals, there's no other way to call it. It's unthinkable. So then we went into the playoffs, and Bataglia saved the day. And then Acuna, I don't know how we missed that goal.
He looked like a field goal kicker, man. He used to come play in the NFL.
Oh my God, we missed some easy goals as well. Which I was listening on ESPN3 here in the United States, and even the commentator was like, they could have resolved the game. I think Bruno Fernandes also missed a goal.
Brian Ruiz também tinha.
Brian Ruiz as well.
I think he had twice. Yeah, it was twice.
Yeah. We could have resolved the game easily, and we did with complicated things like we always do. And exception for, we'll talk about Rio Ave, that was actually joyful to watch. But on this game to the Europa League, we complicated things too much, and we could have been eliminated. We got lucky at the end. And that we deserved the luck anyway. We lost, which is bad because we pissed away $200,000.
The ranking.
Yeah. Now we moved up still.
No, because a lot of the Russian teams lost too, so that I think that helped us.
No.
But I don't think if with a win, I think we would have went higher. No.
Yes, but there's 2 rankings there's the ranking for clubs, that Sporting actually moved up to rank number 37. We were 40, and then there's a ranking as a country ranking. Which we still went up a little bit away from Ukraine, but we didn't catch any ground on the Russians
Right.
because we got 2 bonus points and they got as well 2 bonus points.
Yeah, from CSKA Moscow. Yeah,
CSKA
that's right.
Moscow. So we maintained the distance at least. No, not really, because we have one team out of six and they have one out of five. Because we flipped roles. Next year it's going to be only 5 teams.
Right.
So yeah, so they actually gained more ground on us. But anyway, to wrap it up, we lost the game, but we advanced. But if we want to win against Athletic de Madrid, playing like that, nem amanhã.
Well, let's not get into that just yet because we're gonna get a little bit into that moving forward here in a little bit. But no, I completely agree with you, Steph. You're absolutely right. If we come out with that piss poor attitude that I pretty much saw all game, it's gonna be a long day. So Danny, go ahead and give me your thoughts on the game itself.
Yeah, same with Steph said. I think the goal, even before the whole the left flank kind of let us down. I think Andre Pinto really let us down, giving away an unnecessary corner, really, and then that leading to their goal.
Yeah, I
If
think it
if
was
I had
his.
to
I think
go
it was
ahead.
his. I think it was his. Probably his poorest game for us so far
For
this
sure,
season.
for sure. Yeah, I agree. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, but Andre Pinto definitely. If we had to pick the worst player of the match, I'd say it was Andre Pinto. I didn't think he did many things right. Later on in the game, there was another chance where he was about to go and head it away as well, but nobody was near him, and even Rui Patricio was yelling, like top of his lungs, yelling like don't touch the ball," so that it's not another unnecessary corner.
Right.
Their first goal was potentially offside, but it's too tough to call, especially without VAR. I hope UEFA really looks at this game and others that have played as well, and decide to put VAR into European competitions for next year to avoid some of the silly mistakes that have happened against us and for us. Aside from that, the second goal I agree was sloppy defending, and they got an easy goal. But even though we were playing so bad, we could have easily gotten the tie finished and done with before the extra time. Bas Dost missed a penalty. Brian Ruiz missed an incredible chance, which I don't understand how he missed. Then, in extra time, he missed another one. Acuna, unlucky, hits the post, and then he roofs it again over. Um, Man, as bad as we did play, and this is probably our worst performance of the year. We could have easily put this tie away. We could have easily won the game, let alone, just get one single goal. Yeah, it's unacceptable, this performance, but as we'll talk about later, at least we came back with a bang, and we came
Yeah.
back playing with, better a better style of playing. JJ, I think, was wrong for playing Petrovic. Everything else was perfect. I think Battaglia right back was a good decision, as he's shown in the other games. He's good at that position. He's my man of the match. I think whether he was playing at right back, whether he was playing in midfield, he was the better player for us. And yeah, I mean, it was disappointing, but the most important thing is we went through, and at least we can leave our heads held high from that, and yeah, that's really my overall thoughts on the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I agree. I think the most important thing is as far as performance wise, I think it was our worst performance of the year. I think we can all agree on that. But of course, the most important part is us, still being in the competition. Now, in regards to the game itself, guys, if you were JJ, what would you have done differently, regarding the starting 11? Are there certain players you would have kept out, certain players you would have started over others, and just, the overall game plan itself?
Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, to me, I would just nothing too crazy. The only
Hmm.
thing I would have changed was Polina for Petrovic. I think Polina moves the ball a lot better, and he's good also defensively, just as good as Petrovic. Aside from that, nothing else really. I understand Piccini's coming back from an injury, so to throw him in right away isn't a good decision.
Hmm.
So I agree with Battaglia playing at right back. But yeah, the only one I've made really was playing for Petrovic.
Yeah. What about you, Steph?
Well, I have a slightly, I think definitely slightly because me on the right fullback position, I would put Vitovsky and then put Battaglia on his natural position, which is either number 8 or number 6. I understand if we have to use Battaglia as we don't have anything else as an emergency. I get it. You can play right fullback. Okay, fine. But when you have a healthy right fullback as Ristovsky, if his performance has been declining, I don't know why. So it's up to JJ to talk to him and find out what's going on. But to me, he's proven to us in the past that he's a great player. So to me in that game, Vitovsky should have played on right fullback and Bataglia in his natural position because we can see the difference when Bataglia plays as number 8. He's much better. He's got those long legs, that long reach, and he gives us more of a security net in the midfield. That would be my only change.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like Bolinha in for Petrovic. I don't think Petrovic really offers much offensively as maybe a Bolinha would. In regards to the Pacini, it was just I wouldn't have risked him for this game. I was okay with Battaglia just because of his performances of late. But no, Steph, yeah, you're absolutely you hit it on the head. If you got a right back that's pretty much been playing well every season, every game this season, except for maybe the Porto game. I think we can all agree on was his worst performance. So I don't know if it kind of just hurts his confidence a little bit by not playing him when he is, fully 100% to go. But again, that's on JJ. We all know how he is sometimes. So I
I
can't say
think
I'm too.
just to defend JJ just a tad bit, I think though I do agree maybe we could have started Ristovsky and had a big deal. I think the only reason why he put Battaglia there was to help us out in the aerial battles
Yeah.
because all of their strikers are huge. So to be whipping in crosses, Ristovsky has to be on that far post or that near post, and he has to be tall enough and be able to reach a ball. And obviously Battaglia is a lot bigger than him. He's a lot better than him aerially. So I think
Yeah.
that's the only reason why they put Battaglia there to defend JJ. But I do agree we could have put Ristovsky in.
Right.
Well, in a way, okay. I know we're going back and forth with this, but the thing is, when you acquire the player because he's good as a right full back, that's what he's good at. So now,
100%, yeah.
when you put Bataglia because of his height, and you disregard that you have someone on the bench he's actually that's his natural position, right fullback. Why fuck around with that? Just leave it alone.
I
You
agree.
know,
It's pros and
I
cons
mean,
too, because Ristovsky could have definitely helped us out a lot more offensively, whereas Battaglia kind of I think the only pro for him playing right back would be defensively. So I get the debate. I get it. I get your point of view. I also kind of agree with you, but I
you
see
know,
where JJ may have wanted to put in Battaglia instead.
I know, but you know what's it called in Portuguese? He chama tá a inventar. He's inventing things, and sometimes sometimes his literally inventions complicate things because you have to guarantee the midfield. It didn't matter that Bataglia played in right fullback. We still got 2 goals against us, and he was not on the right
True.
side.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
That's true.
because he could have filled in for maybe where Petrovic was playing, so he would have given us more offensively, and then
Yeah.
Petrovic, I don't even know why he played.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Opa,
Me neither. Me neither.
we've
yeah,
been talking about it forever. You shouldn't play for Sporting. He's not good enough for
I
Sporting, and
swear,
he's
I s-
insisting in playing Petrovic.
I'm
Why? But
convinced.
why?
I'm
Why?
convinced him and Salin are only in the team to be translators. Aside from that, they don't do much. They don't offer
I,
us anything.
I'm convinced JJ picks a name out of a hat, and he just happens to draw Petrovic.
He picks a random
That's
Serbian every year to
I,
try to
I,
buy.
I'm telling you, it's the only. I have no other sort of explanation for it.
I have another explanation, but I'll tell you offline.
Fair enough. So let's shift gears here a little bit, guys. We're gonna stay in the Europa League, but now we're gonna talk about the draw. And we got Atletico Madrid. I think it was easily the toughest, in my book, the toughest opponent we could have drawn. I had Atletico as the favorite to win the tournament. I think they're the best team in the tournament. And unfortunately, we drew them. But with that being said, guys, what do you guys think? Do we have a shot? Um, Danny, I'll give this one to you first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. It's easily the toughest draw we could have gotten. I'd much rather have had Arsenal or anybody else. Not to say it wouldn't have been a tough draw anyways, because now it's the quarterfinals. It's all the tough teams regardless. But it would have easily, Atletico, they're easily the favorites. Atletico are, they have the better team on paper. They demolished Lokomotiv Moscow, who are currently first in Russian league. They demolished. They were unlucky, really, to leave their Champions League group with Roma and I forgot who else. But regardless,
it was Chelsea, I believe.
Yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, it was these. Yeah, they are favorites to win this competition. But Sporting's always been good as an underdog. I think when we've been favorites, as you see against Astana and against Plzen, when we're favorites, we feel the pressure a little too much. Now, when we're underdogs, like we were a few years ago against Manchester City, we ended up winning that draw when we were underdogs against Juventus. I know we didn't win, but we tied against them at least this season. So I think we can. Our team is good enough. Our coach is definitely experienced enough to beat Atletico Madrid. Let's not forget one of the years that he made it into the final, he beat Juventus and a very strong Juventus side. So I wouldn't put it past us not to make it through the next round. I wouldn't put it. I'm not totally depressed or thinking that the tie's already over or that our Europa League chances are already done. But it's definitely tough. It's a tough ask, and I wouldn't be shocked if we exited in the quarterfinals. But with that being said, I have a lot of faith in the boys, and I think we'll make the semis. I don't know. I'm crazy, but I think we'll make the semis.
Fair enough. Steph, what about yourself? How are you feeling going into this big match?
Well, I mean, there's no denying it. I mean, Atletico de Madrid is in second place in Spain, one of the toughest leagues in the world. So it's going to be hard. Now, do we have a chance? We do, but it depends on a few factors. Will the team be healthy? Number one. Number two, how many injuries will we have? How many people on suspensions? Because I think we have 6 people in a bubble. If they get another yellow card, they'll miss the second leg of the Atletico de Madrid quarterfinals. So, with all that said, I think we have a shot. If we have a nice, healthy team, all of our key players, yes, we have a shot. Then we could make it 50-50. If we draw in Atletico de Madrid, then we play the second leg in Portugal in José Alvalade, which that's a good thing. That was the only good thing about the goddamn draw, So then, I think with our public, which I believe will be a packed stadium at full capacity, 55,000 fans, we'll have a shot. But if we come back from Atletico Madrid with 3-0 against us, then I think that's it. But we need to at least see if we can tie or even win. Or if we lose just by 1 goal, then we'll have a chance. And, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, in regards to my quick take on it, we need to get an away goal. I think an away goal is essential. I don't think we can walk away from the first game without one. I also look at Matteo and Piccini as two of probably the most important players we'll have going into those games, just because of their history playing in La Liga with Matteo in Barcelona and Piccini at Real Betis. So, they have the experience of playing Atletico. I think it's going to be a great spectacle, guys. I really do. I think we have two of the best coaches in the game. We have JJ, we have Diego Simeone. You got two of the best keepers in the world in John Oblak and Rui Patricio. So I think it's honestly gonna be a great game. That those players at Sporting, Bruno Fernandes, William, these are the games that they get extra motivated for. You know what I mean? So I expect to see a game kind of like the Juve game, the Barcelona game, where we kept it pretty close and pretty tight. So I think if we get an away goal, we'll be in pretty good hands. So that's that.
And
That's
and
go ahead.
quickly, just to mention, because I forgot to say, I think with these games, the only positive about playing Atletico is I think we'd be attacking a lot more than we would maybe if we faced an Arsenal or another team that attacks very well. Because Simeone likes to, always he's sort of like a Mourinho where it's defense first and really only hit teams on the counterattack, which their counterattack is super deadly, of course, but they're not really a possession style team. They're not really a team that'll always hold the ball and look for the attack every single play, like Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp or anything like that. So there'll definitely be space for us to play. There'll definitely be opportunities for us to score an away goal, like you mentioned. So that's, I think, the only one of the few positives we get about playing Atletico Madrid is that their style of play might favor ours. Really.
Yeah. So if I gave, let's say, if I gave you guys a what's our percentage? If you guys had to give me a certain percentage, what would it be of us advancing to the semis?
Go ahead, Steph.
Okay, I'm gonna be totally honest. To me, it's like 60-40. 64.
60-40. Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say 35, so fair enough.
I'm
yeah.
gonna say 70-30. I say we got a 30% chance.
I'm not being. I am Sportingista with all my heart, and I will be Sportingista. I don't want no one to doubt that. But I'm also a very realistic person, and the way we've been playing, exception for Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
we we're not gonna make. But I do agree with Denny. Denny, what he said, he sound like a goddamn expert.
I am an expert, but
Yeah, you are. You are.
That's why he's here.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, among other things that we can't say it on the air. But anyway, indeed, I think Sporting with the style of play that Atletico Madrid plays, they love to play counterattack. We have more than to benefit from that. But yeah, so 60-40 for me.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to jot these down. So then after, if we advance, I can laugh at everyone, including myself. So I got a couple of questions for you guys. I'm going to give you one each. All right. Based from the Plzen game up until even the Rio Ave game, okay, which we're going to touch in a little bit. But before we get there, Steph, give me a player that you think right now needs to step up their game a little bit that hasn't been putting in the performances we're used to expecting.
Uh, from our Sporting, huh?
Yeah.
So before he was,
Yeah, we can do it before. I mean, you can count the Rio Ave game because I mean, yeah, that was definitely our best performance, but I don't want to go into that just now.
I'm gonna tell you what. Uh, I was expecting more from Acuna.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah,
I agree, actually. Yeah.
yeah. Offensively, I was expecting more deadly crosses.
Mm-hmm.
That gave like Bas Dost more chances to score goals because we've been getting that from Piccini and Justin Martins, and not as much as from Acuna. He has those deadly crosses, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm watching the game and I'm telling myself this is professional players, and they can even cross a decent cross. God damn it! And it gets on my nerves because you could see sometimes strikers waving, "Hey, patou aqui, meu, sozinho," and they still miss the goddamn guy. And this is professional players, so that drives me nuts, bro. But
No.
I
Yeah.
would say Acuna, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, like I said, I think that's a fair shout because even in the before we get into the Rio Ave game, but you could see even Ruben Ribeiro started over him. So I don't know if that was kind of like JJ telling him, you got to kind of step things up a little bit more than you have recently. So now, Danny, my question for you is, who's a player that has been playing well that deserves praise?
I think that's an easy one. I think it's easily Battaglia. Last few games he's been lights out, whether he was at right back, whether he was at center mid, which is his natural position. Against Rio Ave, he played very well. Against Plzen, he's our man of the match. The game before that, he was perfect. When we played right back at Porto, he was perfect. He's man of the match. He's definitely the player that's been improving. With a shout out to Brian Ruiz, who's was a lost hope, but Slowly but surely, he's starting to get his performances in and really helping the team forward. I can't really complain. Aside from him missing chances, which is becoming normal, I can't really complain about the performances he's put in, really.
Yeah, for sure. So now getting into this past yesterday's game, Sporting-Rio Ave. I'm going to read the lineup to you guys. I have it up. We had Rui Patricio, of course, as keeper, Fábio Coentrão, Mateo, Coates, and Pacini at right back. Our midfield was Battaglia and William Carvalho. We had Gelson Martins on the right wing, Ruben Ribeiro on the left, and then Bruno Fernandes playing right behind Bastos, who was at top, of course. And guys, my question to you is: was this our best defensive game of the year? Steph, I'll let you take that one first.
Yes. Defensively, we played well. I think Rui Patricio had one excellent
Mm-hmm.
the defense save, and it was off a deflection
Yeah.
uh, by Ribeiro. Ribeiro from the Rio Ave team, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would think so. I mean, yesterday was a very joyful game to watch. I even had one of my classmates because I'm in the honor guard training, and he doesn't know anything about football or soccer like we call it in America, and actually sat down and watched it with me, and it's actually a good game, and and I was like, well, you're lucky because my team today is doing well. So
It's not usually this good.
Caught him on a good day.
yeah. No, Sporting. No, let's not take the merit of Sporting because we've been having a lot of injuries, and that plays a factor into it. And we've been playing every 3 days. That plays a factor into it too. Because I was
100%.
debating that with Bruno Freire. He's a good friend of mine from Three Tugas, and a shout out to Three Tugas. They do an amazing job. Listen to them too. And I was telling him, listen, the difference because one thing we have been noticing, Benfica has been playing well, of corruption, of corruption.
Playing well on and off the field, if you'd like to say.
No, well, let's keep it just football wise. Benfica has been playing better, and then you ask yourself why? Because they were out of the Taça da Liga, they were out of Taça de Portugal, and they were out of Champions League. Meaning that they have the whole week to prepare one game. So let's say you have a player, oh my knee hurts or this and that. They have a whole week to fix the player and to train together. Sporting hasn't had that luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when we play last game, we play against Chaves on a Sunday and then on a Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And then we flew to Prague to Czechoslovakia on a Tuesday. So Jorge Jesus hasn't had time to practice together with the new acquisitions from January. So and that's a big deal. People don't think about these things, but you have to think about it. When your team is not together practicing and getting to know each other and gelling and getting to know the tactics, it's kind of difficult. So I like to defend my Sporting. Sporting has been playing this and that, ups and downs. It's a lot to deal with that. How many
Mm-hmm.
injuries have we had? Players,
No, it's massive. It's
100%.
massive.
To important
yeah,
players too, yeah.
players suspended.
Okay.
He's making up new teams all along, and sometimes we question, a culpa de Jorge Jesus. But is it really? With so many changes all the time, so many
Well,
unexpected injuries?
The,
I
the changes the changes come now though. Remember earlier in the season we were saying we need to rotate up just a bit more, blah blah blah, and he wasn't. So it
No,
could be JJ's fault.
it could be when he starts inventing. When he insists in players like
my
Brian Ruiz, Petrovic. I don't
yeah.
get it. When we have Pelinha, we have Ritovsky. If they're not performing to that full capacity, let's say Pelinha, you put him on the field now, he's going to struggle a little bit, like a rhythm. Am I right?
Yeah.
But
100%.
you, as the coach, you have to be the one motivating your players.
And
And he,
that's exactly what I wanted to touch on, Steph, right there. That word motivation. Because if you looked at that Pleasant game, man, I don't know how you don't get your team to come out, be motivated with an attitude that we're getting to the next damn round and there's nothing you can do about it, instead of just coming out completely flat. I mean, I get playing every 3 to 4 days, but to come out that flat, I think that's a little bit on JJ. I think he needs to do a better job at motivating the troops in some occasions, in my opinion.
Indeed, indeed, I totally agree with you because let's say I have my own company and I pay you 2 million a year. I mean, I have to. Hey, it's guaranteed the money you're paying me, so I'm gonna slack off a little bit. But it's
Yeah,
up to you to find a way to motivate those players. Hey, if you play well, you could be making $6 million next year for Liverpool.
yeah,
It's a showcase. Liga Europa, it's a showcase for you, buddy. So play well, and you never know. You might get the contract of your life. I don't know. I'm not a professional coach, but if I'm making 23 million like Cristiano Ronaldo, they poked him so much that now he caught up with Luis Suarez. He's in second place of the most goals in Spain, and he's only 3 goals away from Messi. You see, it it was a
best in the
question.
world.
Yes, and the example I'm giving you, it's because it was a question of motivation. He makes 23 millions a year. So Zidane found a way to motivate him, and
Yeah,
Jorge Jesus has to do the same with our players.
yeah. Yeah, I'm right there. Well, that's my only criticism of JJ, and sometimes it's venting things. But I think my biggest thing on him is, be a little bit more of a motivator because he's more of a tactician guy, you can say, than a motivator, in my opinion. Um, but Danny, the floor is now yours. I want you to go ahead and dive into the Rio Ave game. Um, what did we do? What did we do well? What didn't we do so well in your opinion in regards to the game?
Honestly, the only thing that we didn't do well yesterday was score more goals because we had so many chances to score. Defensively, we were sound. Their only opportunity coming from a deflection from Mathieu, but aside from that, there was nothing else. Um, they were a pretty good team. I can't deny that. They also, held their own ground, but we were miles above them regardless. So many opportunities we could have scored. Bas Dost in the 11th minute could have scored. Bruno Fernandes hitting the crossbar from a free kick, and then Bas Dost, just missing the header. That goal, that first goal, what a beauty! From the throw in, the ball boy sort of gives the ball to I think it was Piccini or something. He gives it to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes to Bas Dost. Bas Dost with a nice back heel to Gelson. Gelson dances a bit, finds the bottom corner and scores. Beautiful goal. And then Mathieu. I'm sorry, not Mathieu, but Battaglia almost scoring just before the half ended. Coentrão hit the post in the second half. Bruno Fernandes almost scoring from an incredible play from William Carvalho, who was also incredible. You can definitely see, when he has that rest, just even for a week, because he didn't travel to Plzen, obviously. His performance levels just rise when he's not as fatigued. And then, of course, our second goal coming from a perfect cross from Gelson, who, in my opinion, was definitely man of the match. But yeah, when you say what did we not do right? The only thing I can honestly complain about yesterday is that we didn't win 4-5-0. That we didn't kill off Rio Ave in the first half, let alone that we had to get the second goal in the 83rd minute. Shout out to Wendell for finally coming onto the field. I know even on Twitter, a lot of fans are constantly saying, when is Wendell going to start? Complaining that Wendell needs to, finally get some minutes. Standing ovation when he came in. When he touched the ball,
Oh my God,
fans really shouted for him, really went for him and
it
all
was
of
a
that.
circus. It was awesome. It was awesome to
Yeah,
watch.
exactly. So it's beautiful to see. There's reports that he's not happy at Sporting for some reason because he's not playing or whatever, but gladly, I think after he sees the love and appreciation that we're showing him, if that was, which I think is a rumor, but even if that was true, like those feelings, they're definitely out the window now.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I was happy he came in, even if it was for 4 minutes, man. I think he touched the ball maybe 3 times, and the crowd went wild.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny to watch. One play that happened in the first half, though, guys, the Bruno Fernandes incident in the box. Do you guys think that it was a PK?
Steph, go ahead.
Opa, vai tu que és mais novo.
Okay, okay. I think it's a penalty. There's no contact on the ball. He trips Bruno Fernandes. Easy decision in my opinion. I'm not trying to be biased because I know certain people will say that's soft, but it's easily a penalty for me for certain penalties that I've also seen throughout the year called. How this one isn't called. How this one doesn't even go to VAR. I don't get it. To me, it was a penalty.
Steph, what about yourself?
Well, I don't. I mean, I mean,
I don't know what a PK is nowadays, to be honest with you guys.
exactly. I don't. For me, okay. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not gonna be, like. Well, I'm okay. I'll just. I don't think it was a penalty. I played defense all my life, and I think Bruno Fernandes also dived a little bit. Yeah, the defender, he did put his foot and he stepped on him a little bit. But the only thing I didn't like, and that's the one thing I agree with Danny, is how come the VAR didn't even step in, or maybe they did and we didn't even notice because they could easily say, "Hey, do you want to take a look at this? It's like doubtful," and the referee could dismiss it, say, "No, I'm fine." So that's the only thing. But to me, I don't think it was a penalty. But if I seen this called on favor of Benfica or Porto, yes.
Oh,
And
he's allowed.
if they get those calls, Benfica and Porto, then we should get them too. I agree with Danny.
But that's not how it works, Steph.
We're Sporting, bro. I wish it worked like that. And not
Yeah.
to mention, what about the penalty that Shavs got on Quats? But yet that isn't a penalty. I
Yeah,
No,
that,
mas
agree. You know, like
o quatro puxou. I know, but
puxou nada.
Oh, he did. Come on.
Puxou. The
Uh,
Shavs player's head runs into his hand, bro. What can he do there?
nah,
I,
I think that one was a PK though.
yeah,
On the Shaj one, I think it was.
he pushed his
For
shoulder. He
this.
pushed his shoulder, bro. He
He
pushed.
lost his balance, and Kawhi was like losing his
For.
balance too. He didn't know where he was.
I
Yeah.
don't. I'll agree. Okay, we can agree to disagree. I don't think that's a penalty there. But
Opa,
Yeah,
tu és Sportingista doente, man.
no,
Não
no,
sabia.
no, 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 no. I am. Eu sou doente pelo sport. Isso não é dúvida nenhuma. But I know. I think I can call it straight up. In my opinion, I think that wasn't a penalty. This was a penalty. I kind of see where the ref didn't want to give this one a penalty. But my biggest complaint is how he didn't go to VAR.
Yes.
But
Yes.
as we've seen in the Porto game, even if they do go to VAR, we don't get the penalty we deserve. So who knows if that would have made a difference? But
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this game was probably the most relaxed game I've watched in quite a few weeks. To be honest with you
Woo!
guys,
Yes.
I
Yes.
was relaxed. To be honest with you, I think our defense was absolutely outstanding. It was terrific. It was sensational. Just the command that Watts and Mateu had back there, and Pacini coming back. You see how fresh he is coming back from energy from his injury, and he I think he was playing lights out. He was going up and down the flanks, creating opportunities. So you see how much better we are with that core of Pacini, Coentrão, Mateu, and Watts in the back. I mean, Rui Patricio just had that one save, as Steph mentioned in the first half. But other than that, man, I mean, he could have just sat down, drank some lemonade, and took in the night off because they didn't really create. There wasn't any moment in the game where I was like, oh crap, they're going to score here. They might score here. I was actually relaxed and really calm watching the game, which is something that hasn't happened in a couple of weeks for me. So that's a plus. Um, I was
quickly,
also go ahead.
just to quote a follower of ours on Twitter and a fan of the show, M. Paiva. I think it's Michael Paiva. He said that this is probably the first performance in a while where we've been lights out, start to finish. So
Yeah,
Yes.
I completely 100% agree. I think it was our best overall team performance. And I was pissed because I had predicted a 5-0 and they hit 4 posts, so I was close. I
Yeah.
was
I mean,
close but no cigar.
like that game when I watched the first half, I was like, wow, why the first half? And then I'm like, oh God, here comes the second half. And and then they proved me wrong. They played an amazing second half, 45 minutes and plus overtime, of course. And I was like, wow, that was the best game of Sporting of the season because Rio Ave is a good team. You
Hmm.
know, every time we win against a good team, our rivals, they have the tendency of playing it down. Ah, o Rio Ave está a rasca. They never give his credit, never. So, but yeah, this game was amazingly played well from minute number 1 to minute number 93. Amazing game, loved it.
Yeah, I agree. So just to wrap it up real quick, guys. Two things. The first one, obviously, who was your man of the match? Who would you guys give man of the match to?
Gelson to me. He got the assist on the second goal. He scored the first goal. He was a workhorse. He's man of the match in my opinion.
Yeah, same with me, without a doubt. Justin Martins. I mean, my man Justin Martins. You have to pay attention to small detail. That's been my life with the military and now with customs. Pay attention to detail, and my man not only he's been playing well offensively, but defensively. How many times did he help out Piccini? A ton of times.
All the time. He was always back there.
Yeah, and the goal he scored. Oh my God, that's a goal to watch and rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. That was an amazing goal. His composure, my goodness,
Exactly.
loved it, loved it.
Exactly. Um, no, definitely Jelson was my man of the match. And another player that I still can't give him enough praise is Bruno Fernandes. Because if he would have scored those two goals, that the free kick and the one that William had given the pass to, I think we would have maybe he would have been the man of the match. Because I thought he was absolutely phenomenal in the midfield and setting up the attack. But Jelson for sure as well. I mean, he's our most lively player on the wings. And I'm just happy that him and Pacini are uh, back in the starting 11, because it's definitely the strongest we have when they're both in the lineup attacking the flanks. So now, guys, what about JJ? What do you guys give JJ's overall grade?
I'll go first this time. JJ, he actually nailed it. I like the setup of the team. Um, and I was actually, to tell the truth, I was actually very surprised that we played so well because we had only 72 hours of rest between Thursday and Sunday. Um, the game wasn't scheduled on Monday like typically is when we play on Thursday because the FIFA uh, actually they had scheduled all the national teams games and kind of overpowered the Liga NOS and basically said, nope, no team can play on Monday because we have all kinds of national teams playing. So a quick explanation why Sporting played on Sunday. So, and I was very surprised. And JJ, he looked at the players, the ones that were more fit, and he had the best team on the pitch. And we won with a lot of class. And like Denny and you, Bruno, said, it should have been at least 6-0 with all the four balls on the cross, two on the crossbar, two on the post. My God, it should have been 6-0.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Danny? What would you rate JJ in this game?
Yeah, JJ gets a 10 out of 10. He had it spot on. Even him dropping Acuna for Ruben Ribeiro, whether that was to send Acuna a message or to simply just let Ruben Ribeiro play against his old team. I think Ruben Ribeiro did a decent job there. The whole team was worked well, and it's also proof of what Steph was saying earlier. When we play our best 11, we play our best football, and that's what we showed against Rio Ave. Again, if we finished our chances, I would definitely say this is their best performance of the season. Because we didn't, and we had a game that ended 5-0 against Marítimo. I think that was probably our best, but this is up there. This is very up there. So JJ, parabéns, you get a 10 out of 10. This is exactly the response that we wanted to see after that disappointing, not so much the result, but the disappointing performance against Plzen away, against a team we should have been slapping that we didn't. This is the perfect performance for the whole team to bounce back and give. And along with JJ, the whole team's put a bench for everybody. Congratulations to all of them. They all played well.
Yeah, I'm gonna give JJ a 20 just simply for finally subbing in Wendell for 4 minutes. I think that was the highlight. No, I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, no, I think my favorite thing to see was kind of the game plan. We kind of didn't let Rio Ave really breathe. We kind of played like a high line. They always had to keep playing it back to Ocasio, back to the keeper, and they couldn't really uh, get an attack going for most of the part of the game. And I think that by doing that, by having us play so high up the line, definitely helped with that. So JJ, kudos to you. 10 out of 10, and that's a very good way of bouncing back after what we saw the week prior against Pleasant. So kudos to the team for finally getting back on track. We're still 5 points away. Everything in my eyes is still open. We need a little bit of hope here and there, but for right now, we just got to keep focusing and worrying about us. Um, Guys, I want to also get into the national team selections, the call ups for the national team for Portugal. Um, obviously for Sporting, we had Rui, William, Bruno Fernandes, Gelson, and Coentrão, but Coentrão got hurt, so I think Mario Rui took his position now, which is fine by me. He doesn't need to be playing in these friendlies, so that's good that he's not going up. But my question to you guys are: we're gonna have a little fun here because I think these five players are going to Russia. They'll be in the World Cup. So I want you guys to rank them from 1 to 5 on how pivotal they need to be for Portugal come World Cup. So out of Rui Patricio, William, Bruno Fernandes, Coentrão, and Gelson, who would you guys have at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for Portugal?
Oh,
Do you guys want me to go first?
Yeah, go first because it seems like you're
All right, so my first one, I think Rui Patricio needs to have an absolutely sensational World Cup, especially because I think he's going to be forced into. He's going to be more active because I think our center back position, other than Pep, is a little, questionable. So I think he'll be called into action a lot. My second one is William Carvalho. I think he's going to play a huge part in that center defensive midfielder role, helping out the center backs. So he's number 2 for me. Number 3, I have Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes, if he doesn't start, he better be on for at least 30 minutes in the second half because I feel like he could definitely provide a spark in our midfield. He's just an absolutely fantastic player to watch. And I mean, just imagine him playing alongside, Cristiano, João Mario, Bernat Silva. I mean, players of that quality, we might see him play at an even higher level, I guess you could say, if that's even possible. So I have Bruno Fernandes at number 3. I have Gelson at number 4 because I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know if Fernando Sanchez is going to opt for. Well, he's not going to. He's not going to start because it's going to be Bernardo and Ronaldo, and I think those are pretty much going to be the two playing the wings because I think Andreas Silva will be as a striker. Um, and sometimes he still likes to play Quaresma, so Quaresma might get the go ahead in front of him as a sub. And then my last one is Coentrão, just because I still think the number one in that left back position for Portugal to me is Rafael Guerreiro. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. Nothing against Coentrão. I think Coentrão has had a very good season. But I think Rafael Guerreiro is just slightly at a higher level now than Coentrão is. So that's my ranking. I don't know who wants to take the floor next and go ahead and give their take.
Age before beauty. Go ahead, Steph.
No, we're gonna let the Canadian go first because we already had somebody from the U.S. go first. So let's take turns.
I like that. Fair enough.
Diplomatic. I like it.
I don't want the Canadian community to get upset.
Nah, we're too nice to get upset. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, you guys are too nice. Okay, follow me.
So one being the most important, correct?
Correct.
All right, so definitely Rui Patricio at number 1. Like as you mentioned, our defense is, I think, weaker than in the Euros because players are aging and we don't have that that young quality like we do in attacking positions. So Rui's number 1, Williams number 2. They'll be very important in our midfield. I think, aside from maybe 1 or 2 games like we've seen in the Euros with Danilo, Williams going to start all the games, or most of them, I should say. And he's going to be super important to bring that tranquility in the midfield, to move the ball, to transition from defense to offense, and all of that, the way he does at Sporting. Number 3, I will say Fábio Coentrão, because Rafael Guerreiro has been very injury prone the last few seasons. So hopefully nothing happens to him, because I do rate Guerreiro a lot. But if something does happen to him, I think Fábio Coentrão can easily slot in, and he's been proving this season that he's not his injury prone self of seasons past. Number 4, I'll say Gelson. Actually, I'll say Bruno Fernandes at number 4. We don't have a lot of midfielding options anymore. Adrian barely gets any minutes. João Mario isn't. I think he'll start. João Mario isn't the João Mario of seasons past. Who else? João Moutinho was starting to get on, though he's having a pretty good season for Monaco. I don't see him starting week in, week out for Portugal, or not even week in, every 3 days, or every 3 days, I should say. So I think Bruno Fernandes would be very important to this Portuguese team. And then I think Gelson's 5th, and not because Gelson's not good or anything, but just because of our wingers that we have and that are having outstanding seasons alongside with them. Of course, we have Ronaldo, and Quaresma has really done well with Besiktas. Gids has done very well with Valencia. The list goes on.
We're stacked at that position.
Yeah, we have Ronnie Lopes that isn't getting any burn, and he's scored in the last, 5-6 games for Monaco. Bruma, former Sporting academy player, playing very well for Leipzig, gave Porto a headache when they played. We have a ton of wingers. Not to say that Gelson isn't good enough. I think Gelson's easily making the squad. I just think in that position, Fernando Santos is going to opt for different players, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I have Gelson as my least.
And of course, he's not gonna, get over the. He's not gonna be first, starting ahead of the GOAT.
Exactly.
I'm sorry I did that. I'm so sorry I did that.
No, bro, I love it. It's cool. What about you, Steph? Are you finally ready with your list?
Yeah, of course I am.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a completely different list, by the way.
Oh, holy crap. I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
I like diversity.
Yeah. So that's what I heard. So between the pipes, of course, it's got to be Rui Patricio, no doubts about it. I mean, this guy is on the peak of his career. He's well seasoned. He's got lots of experience. So number 1 is Rui Patricio, our legend. He already has a statue in Leiria. If I lived in Portugal, I would have stolen the statue and put it in José Alvalade. But anyway, then rank number 2, to me, it's Gelson Martins. Because when we talk about Quaresma or Nani, because Nani will go to the World Cup. You guys know that, don't you?
No,
I don't think so. He's not going.
No.
He's not going. He's not
Okay.
going. No way.
Okay.
No way.
He's one of those players that Fernando Santos trusts with his life. You'll see he's going to go. But if you look at the form of the wingers, os jogadores fantasia that we have, Gelson Martins is on top of all of them. He's actually outplaying all of them. And I know you mentioned Bruma. Bruma is not there yet. Bruma, Ulimsi, they're not playing for anything, exception for Europa Liga. That's all, which is a good competition. But they're not. What are they playing for in Germany? Tell me. What are they?
No, nothing. I agree with you 100%. I just brought up Bruma as an example of how many wingers we have. I don't think he's getting ahead of Gelson. No way.
Okay, so which other wingers do you see getting ahead of Gelson?
The only one Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, Gonçalo Guedes. I think Quaresma gets ahead of him because, like you mentioned, players that Fernando Santos trusts with his life. It's Quaresma. Obviously, Ronaldo.
Well, Ronaldo is a striker. It's not even
okay, but he'll rotate on the left as well. Even in the Euros, he was up top, but attacking, you've seen him a lot on the left, and then only when we played through the right did he really come in and bounce in.
But Cristiano Ronaldo, we all agreed that he'll appear in the middle and to score goals because that's his forte.
He plays renegade, man. He can play whatever the hell he wants for all I care. As long as he's on the field.
Yeah, that's a fact. But as um jogador fantasia, o Porto, they have who? Brahimi, am I right?
Hmm.
Brahimi is
Yep.
very similar to Jose Martins. We have no one like that with those skills. The only player we have is Quaresma and Nani. Nani is on the downhill of his career. I mean, if he came to Sporting, I would still take him. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
but off the bench.
yeah, well, yeah, off the bench, either the first 45 minutes or the second half, the second
Hmm.
45 minutes. But Justin Martinez for me, it's ranked number two because the national team needs a player like him. They need a player that can crack that nut when it's a tough game. You know what I mean? Because
That's what
when we
she
didn't,
said.
can't
I'm
can't
kidding. I'm
can't
kidding.
can't como é que ela chama? Não, I went, but so we don't have a player like that. Quaresma, he's been going downhill as well, little by little. He won't be able to play full 90 minutes like Jesse Martinez. There's no fucking way. In a
Yeah, I
World
mean,
Cup, no
I
way.
pray that you're right, Steph, because it's time to start getting these youth players to start playing together. It's time to start developing our national team. I mean, that's why you see Germany, Argentina, they're always there in the semis because they usually play with that same continuity of players, and I think that's something that Portugal needs to do a better job of doing. And I think Quaresma, like you say, I'll never forget about what he's done for the national team, but I think it's time to give these up and these newcomers a shot ahead of him.
But at the
But
same time, to be fair, I think Quaresma is in the prime of his life. He's 34, but this guy might as well be 28 because he is incredible. This Quaresma right now is playing better than any Quaresma I've seen past. Whether it's attitude problems or not, this is better than any Quaresma I've seen before. And to be fair, also to Gelson Martins, he also likes playing João Mario on the right wing as well. So I think João Mario offers a bit more solidity in the midfield. So I think that's another reason why Justin won't. I'm not saying he won't play. He'll definitely play a game or two, or definitely come off the bench. I just don't think he'll be as important as the other four players that from Sporting going to the national team.
Well, okay. So to move on because then we're
yeah,
gonna
move on. Yeah,
be
go
here the
ahead.
whole night.
But I see your point.
But to me, Justin Martinez is much at this point in time. We're talking about the present time, not what Quaresma has done and other players. Now at this point in time, he's playing much better than Quaresma, than Nani, than Gonzalo. I mean, I don't even include Gonzalo in this group. Gonzalo is a step below. I mean, he's a makeup. He's some kind of wannabe a Wenger or something. Anyway, but I don't see much about Gonzalo. But the my third option would be Williams, Carvalho, of course. But when he plays like Sir Williams, because sometimes he plays shitty. I've seen some games it's like wow, and some games what the hell is going on? So he's my number three, and then number four. Which what's the other players?
Bruno Fernandes and Coentrão.
Hmm.
Uh, yes. So Bruno Coentrão next in the left wing, like you said, Guerreiro. But who plays in the left no Football Club Porto? Is it Alex Pereira?
It's Alex Tejes. Ricardo could
Teles,
play on
right?
the left. He's played there at Nice, but he's not playing there at Porto. I think, though I do like him, I think it'd be a mistake if Fernando Santos brought him ahead of Cedric
No, yeah,
or even João Cancelo. But go
no.
ahead.
I
This is
think the kid who Ricardo Pereira has been playing well, but he plays on the right wing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I would give preference to Fabio Coentrão definitely on the left wing, and then the one I see the least making the team, believe it or not, it'll be Bruno Fernandes, porque o Fernando Santos é muito telhudo, and I don't think he'll have a chance of making it.
I think he
If
will because I mean, if you saw in the Euro Renat Sanch, I mean, he was kind of like a little spark off the bench. That's why maybe I'm thinking Bruno Fernandes can kind of play that same role, maybe not start, but get good minutes in the second half. At least that's what I'm the bare minimum I'm hoping for. If he was
well,
smart.
me too, but Fernand Sanchez is a little bit hard headed sometimes,
Oh,
and
he's worse than
and
JJ.
yeah, Bruno Fernandes is a good player. Don't get me wrong, and he will eventually make the team, but I don't see him making the team over Bernard Silva. Bernard Silva is playing great in Manchester City. So
that's another winger I forgot to mention ahead of Gelson, actually.
Well, you can play winger or midfield. Não te esqueças.
True, but it's more up the field.
Yeah, he's going to play
That's a
more
good
up the
point.
field for us. That's what he's been doing. These games.
O Bruno Fernandes is competing against who? He's competing against João Mário. Who else?
João Mário,
João
André
Moutinho,
Gomes,
probably.
unfortunately. João Moutinho,
João
Adrian, Manuel Fernandes from even Lokomotiv Moscow.
No, Manuel Fernandes não vai.
I don't think he's going either, but I'm just saying he's competing with him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't think Manuel Fernandes or Moutinho has a chance over Bruno Fernandes, but that's me.
Me neither. But again, he's a hard-headed guy. I think he's bringing Moutinho regardless. Moutinho at least, maybe not Manuel Fernandes, but Moutinho's going.
Yeah,
I think André Gomes is going, which is a shock.
Isso é que é miséria.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure André Gomes is going. He
is.
He got called up to these friendlies instead of him trying out somebody else. He got called up to these friendlies.
Get ready, Steph. Get ready.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, Steph.
It's gonna be.
If André Gomes goes before Bruno Fernandes,
Vais ver, it's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
It's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure these players are like guaranteed unless they get an injury, which I hope André Gomes does. I hope nothing but the best for him, but that he has like a little niggle on his ankle so that he can't play for the World Cup.
He'll still play.
I mean, I don't think he should, but I'm pretty sure Fernando Santos is gonna call him up.
My God, that'll be such an insult, but whatever. Now let's move on. Eu dei murro aqui ao telefone e partiu todo.
So let's wrap up the show real quick, guys. I want to introduce a new segment that we're going to be doing, not today, but in the next couple of episodes. We're going to do a little bit of Sporting history. And basically, anytime I'm the host, I'm going to pin these guys with a few questions from Sporting, to do with our history, players, coaches, games, players, things like that of their nature, pick their brains a little bit. So it'll be fun. And we're also going to be, we dove a little bit into the national team call-ups for the World Cup because we will actually be doing a podcast on the World Cup as well. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think we can also maybe fill out a bracket between ourselves, see who comes out on top, and maybe we can let the fans get involved on the Twitter page too. We can do something a little for them. So just a couple ideas that we're throwing out there and trying, and we'll see how it goes. Guys, I don't know if you guys want to add anything.
Hopefully,
I'm trying to find fan questions, but I don't think we have any.
I don't think we have any. Hopefully, my World Cup bracket will be better than my NCAA bracket that went to garbage already.
Thanks to UNBC.
Let me ask you something. How tall are you?
How tall am I?
I'm 5'5", 5'6" on a good day.
I don't.
I'm kidding. I'm 5'5".
and you wanted to be an expert in basketball. 5'5". Now.
Hey, I can dunk those little kid basketball nets, bro. What do you mean?
I know.
And dunk contest. Those are the
best. That's the ones you buy for yourself, huh?
Yeah.
But anyway, hey Bruno, good thing with the new segment. I'm excited. Yeah.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be fun. Maybe we'll do like some fan trivia question of the week. I'm thinking as far as the World Cup though, for the fan that gets like the bracket right, maybe we can do like a little prize or something. I don't know. I'm just being creative.
I like that idea.
It'll come to me. And hopefully it's a Sporting-Gista.
Yeah.
What's that, Steph?
What's our next game? I know.
Our next game is a crucial game contra o Braga.
Yep. Braga, lá.
And it's away.
Yeah.
And it's in Braga, guys. That's gonna be a hell of a. I'm scared, man.
Não é o Braga. You got
o Benfica B, cara.
É o Benfica B, perdão. Isso é verdade. See, these games scary, man, because when Braga plays Sporting, it's like they're playing for the finals of the Champions League. But
I know.
Listen,
they're playing Benfica Porto, opa.
And to be fair to Braga as well, they're 4 points away from Sporting, They'll be extra motivated for this game. I think Sporting will obviously be motivated just because it's Braga and because we want to put them in their place, which is fourth place, and we want to strive for what we deserve, which is the top positions in the league. If it's not first, it's second. At least we can make it through Champions. I hope, because I hate this team almost as much as I hate our other two rivals, our more important rivals. I hate this team, and I hope we give them the proper slapping that they deserve. I know they got maybe an unfortunate call against us at Avalad, but in the first game of that we played them this season. But second game, I hope we destroy them. We give them the 3-0 they deserve, and we make Antonio Salvador, which is for those that don't know, is Luis Felipe Vieira's younger brother. He's his butt buddy. I hope he joins them in prison when they both go. Anyways, I hope we crush this team and we just kill their morale, because the fact that they're 4 points away from Sporting is sad, because they're garbage. They're garbage, and I hate this team.
Yeah,
I think. Go ahead, Steph.
I'm sorry, Bruno. The only problem I see playing against Braga, it's the problem when we play against them. It's always 14 against 11.
I see what you did there.
To be fair, how many games are in 14 against 11 for us in Portugal?
Not too many.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
I think go ahead, Steph.
We'll be able to pull off a win in Braga, and we need to pull because Braga is only 4 points away from us.
Yep,
exactly.
So it's a win-win situation. But the good thing is this break was excellent, because as well as these friendly games, it's low intensity, and then the players usually only play half only one half. So and it's good because they get to see each other and hang out and build up that friendship that needs to be built up, and they'll be resting. And then most of our players, the ones not being called for the national team, they'll have time to fix themselves, physically, mentally, whatever, tactically. Like Gwendo, like Misik, all those players will be able to catch up.
Yeah, I think this Braga game is going to be the toughest game for us. I think it's going to be tougher than the Benfica game, in my opinion. Just mainly because the way Braga plays against us, like I said, it's like a Champions League final for them. And they're fighting to get that third spot. They're only 4 points away, so Braga is going to be very, very highly motivated to put in a good performance. That being said, I think it's going to be those grind me out victories, maybe a 2-1. What are your guys' predictions for the game? Real quick, scoreline.
I'm going to say for Sporting, 3-1.
3-1, okay.
3-0. Hopefully it's more.
I'm gonna go with 2-1, and I think Braga scores first, so we'll be suffering all game. But we'll come back and score 2. That's my prediction.
In typical Sporting fashion, I like your sense.
He's at the man, so that's exactly what I'm going for. So that pretty much wraps it up from us here on our end. I don't know if Steph or Danny want to add anything real quick before we go, but that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Look forward. I don't know what we're gonna do over this international break without watching Spartan. It's like my life kind of ends for a little bit. It kind of stops. So that kind of sucks.
We have Portugal, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's on unless it's like a big tournament going on.
Exactly.
So go ahead, Steph or Danny.
Well, the only thing I got to say is good luck to our national team, which I follow them closely as well. Even though it's friendlies, we could see some players maybe flourish, and we might say, wow, I hope he gets called for
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, by Fernandes. And for example. And the one thing for our podcast, we're going to have some amazing guests shortly. I want to announce them yet, but I do have like 3 or 4 people lined up already. And maybe next week we'll take a break because it's the national teams. But then the following week even if Sporting doesn't play, we'll just dedicate an episode quickly on the national teams. and then we'll have a guest, and we'll let the guest, be the spotlight of our show.
Bum bum bum. I love it. I love it. So a couple of projects we're working on, guys. Like Steph said, we got some guests coming on. Making
Some
the
good
show.
ones. Good
Yeah,
ones.
some great ones. So definitely stay tuned. And please, guys, interact with us because we want you guys to feel like you're a part of the show as much as we are. Hit us with your questions. Hit us with your feedback. We're only going to continue to grow that way. So please do get back to us. That's it for me. Viva Sporting. Danny, I'll leave it with you.
No, man, another great episode, another great show. Thanks for having me on. I love being on here. And nothing else, bro. Viva Sporting.
Mais nada. Sporting Clube Portugal maior, número 1. O resto é conversa fiada. Shit.
And I'll end it on. Drops the mic. I'll end it with that. Take care, guys.
Later.
Ciao, ciao.
Nosso grande amor.